Hi, this is Ruthie Wagner with Lutheran Bible Translators, and I wanted to share a document with you today that lists out several tools for Bible translation and scripture engagement that use artificial intelligence. So maybe it's a large language model that has a lot of data from many major languages around the world, or a small language model that is very customized, um, especially to control the information using maybe minority languages. But the main thing is artificial intelligence is a machine that can assist humans with information, with tasks, with developing software. And there are a lot of um, AIs out there that can help do all kinds of things for work. And so a popular one is ChatGPT. So if you go to chatgpt.com, it's very similar to like a Google search engine that you can ask it lots of questions. What's the weather like in this place in the world? Or what's the tallest mountain and how tall is it? Or if you ask it questions like um, what's my favorite food? It's not going to know that because it's not a human that knows you. It can seem like it is very personable, but really it's just using information that is on the internet to guess what answer you might be looking for, whether it is right or not. And so you have to be very careful when using AI to always question whether it is true, whether it's helpful, um, and trust uh, that you, as a human, are able to discern these things better than an AI is. An AI is just like a big, powerful calculator, and it doesn't have feelings. It doesn't understand you. It doesn't understand culture and context. All it is doing is just searching information that is on the internet and guessing what might be helpful for you based on whatever question you ask it or whatever task you ask it to do. So, as we're thinking about Bible translation, there are many tools out there that are now utilizing artificial intelligence to help humans check things. So, maybe you've used a spell checker in Word or in Paratext, the translation software. Um, Similarly to that, it seems so smart, like it knows your language. Um, and so AI can be very, very helpful depending on how you use it. And so I just want to go through some of these tools that are out there. Um, just I'm not going to demonstrate them. I'm not going to explain how they work. I'm just going to tell you what's out there to just give you a sense of uh, what might be helpful in your work. And so I've ordered these from early stages of Bible translation, like exegesis and research, to later stages, like production and distribution. And I've also highlighted them. So the yellow tools are very, I would say, safe. They're immediately helpful. They're really um, kind of search tools for carefully selected resources in a library. The blue resources are going to take more training. Uh, they they are going to need more discernment, more training, more help to understand how they work, and a lot of care needs to be used when using them for Bible translation. The green tools are not tools that are specifically developed for Bible translation, but they can be helpful depending on how you might want to use them. And so I'll start with the Bible Well here. The Bible Well is a free application that can be used offline. You can download onto your phone or computer, and it has great resources for exegesis. It uses other languages also. Some resources have been translated into other languages. And the way that this has utilized AI is that they have added a chat bot, an AI chat feature in the app where you can ask it questions. And the questions aren't like Google, where it searches the whole internet. It searches only the resources that are approved and added to the Bible well. And so when you ask it translation questions, you know that it's looking at resources that have been verified and accounted for by translation community and specialists. So you can ask advice about translation and do some exegesis using a tool like this. The chatbot that is used in Bible Well is actually the same as FaithBridge. They've just used the FaithBridge tool and have put it inside of Bible Well. So it's the same thing. So if you go to this link from FaithBridge, you will see that you can ask questions about Bible translation. You can ask questions about specific Bible passages. You can ask for advice about how maybe other languages in your area have translated a passage. And so it's going to help you the best that it can in guessing what might be helpful. It's a machine, it's not a person, and so you still have to really ask it the right questions and then verify whether it's helpful information. Um, but it's a chat bot that you can talk to, and it will respond. Um, then there is a resource called BT Servant, and it's very similar chat bot with another library set that has been developed by Unfolding Word. And the way that this works is that instead of going on an app or the internet, you do it on your phone through WhatsApp. And so if you go into WhatsApp, um, this is how you register for BT Servant. And you can go in there and you can ask it questions like, what is what are the translation issues in Revelation 5? Or um, can you please explain this passage to me? Or what's the meaning of this key term? Things like that. The green one is a tool that is not developed specifically for Bible translation, but it's very helpful for Bible translation. Logos is a Bible study software, and it actually syncs with Paratext. And um, if you uh, if you subscribe to the Translator's Workplace, I think it's $75 now. It will give you a whole library of resources. So in Paratext, if you use Paratext, you have access to the UBS Handbook, which is a very popular, very helpful resource for Bible translation. That is inside of the Translator's Workplace library. And so then you can use this library within Logos. Inside of Logos, if you have Translator's Workplace, they also have made available an auto translate feature where you can translate resources automatically. So they have not been verified by humans, but they translate the handbook, commentaries, dictionaries into a language that you might be able to understand better than English. So you can translate it into Swahili, into Tok Pisin, into Portuguese, into French, into Creole, if you're from Sierra Leone. And so this just makes resources more accessible, but that is only through subscription of Translators Workplace. Also, there is a tool called Study Assistant. which is the one that I've listed here. And that is a chatbot feature, and it's free for very limited use. So you can ask it, a few questions, similar to these other AI tools, and it will search your Logos library. So when you ask it a question, it'll say, okay, these resources say this about your question. And that can be very, very helpful. If you want to use that feature more, you'll have to pay a subscription fee, because they limit it for the free version. But you can try it and see if it's helpful once you have a library like Translator's Workplace in your Logos. The next tool also is not developed for Bible translation, but can be used for Bible translation. It's called Notebook LM. It's a Google resource tool, and it uses AI to generate audio and video presentations. So maybe you have an exegetical resource uh, that is just difficult to understand, or is very boring to read. You can actually put that into Notebook LM and have it create an engaging presentation, whether a video, a slideshow, even a podcast, like where people are explaining things in a conversation style. And so this is kind of a fun tool to make things more engaging and to present it. It can also generate images that you ask it to. So again, use discernment, and recognize that it's a machine and that a human always needs to verify the accuracy of whatever it's giving you. These next four tools are tools that are developed specifically for Bible translation, that are used in drafting translation. And so uh, this FlexTrans, actually, it's not an AI tool, um, but I included it here just for comparison and contrasting with the other ones. So FlexTrans is a very uh, you create a database of your language, putting in dictionary information, grammatical information. It's extremely linguistically focused, and so you put the information of the base language and then the information of the target language. And so where this is really, really helpful is if a language is related. And so if you have multiple dialects, or if you have languages that are closely related, if you've done a translation in one, you can use FlexTrans to transition, to change the text into the dialect. And again, it's done by machine, um, but it can be helpful for those languages that are related. Um, Scripture Forge is an AI generated drafting tool. And so it's only going to give you a draft as good as what goes into it, the information that goes into it. And so if you've drafted several books in your project that have been consultant checked, and you put it into Scripture Forge, it will guess based on the decisions that you made in those books. It will guess how you might want to draft the next book. And so maybe you've drafted the New Testament, and you go to generate a draft of Jonah. If Jonah has information that wasn't in the New Testament, which it does, it's going to just guess how to translate that, and a human needs to go in and correct all of that information, because it doesn't have it doesn't have a lot of the Old Testament information if you've just done the New Testament. And so it's a lot of guessing, but what it does is it helps you with some of the decisions that you've made previously. It just applies them to a draft that you can then edit. Alpha 2 and Avoda are very similar. These are all AI assisted, machine assisted tools that help people draft. The draft is not going to be very good, but it might save some time with typing and trying to remember, oh, how did we translate that? And so uh, some people use it for reference. So, like, for consistency in spelling and in terms and things like that. Scripture Forge and Avoda are primarily used for drafting scripture. And then Alpha Tool can be done for other documents. So maybe you have liturgical documents or church resources or stories or things like that, that it can also do, where you upload it into Alpha 2, as long as it has the information on your language. And so you might have to collect some data to give to the Alpha 2 developers, and then uh, they can help you translate a document into from one language to another automatically. And then humans, of course, need to go in and revise and edit it. Um, Aqua, this is we're going into some checking tools here. So Aqua stands for Augmented Quality Assessment. And this tool is, you upload your translation from Paratext, and then it just does some automatic powerful checking things. So in Paratext you have tools like spell checking and the basic checks in there. Aqua is does a lot of that automatically, and then it tells you maybe some issue areas in your translation. Um, and so again, it needs a human to decide, okay, is that really an issue or not? So that's Aqua. Let's see. Okay. And then the Greek Room also is a powerful checking tool that checks spelling, formatting issues, and it'll help you even identify, like, your language doesn't usually spell things this way. Is this an issue? So maybe like the phonology, like you don't usually use these sounds together. And it will flag those and say, do you really want to spell it like this? And that can be helpful for names and places and things that sound very strange in another language. The last one is probably my favorite tool. It's called the Scripture App Builder. And this is software that builds apps, and you can upload your text that has been consultant checked from Paratext. You can put it into Scripture app, and then you can do an audio recording, even just on your computer or on your phone, and then you combine those two files, and it uses AI to sync the text and the audio. And this is done so well now using artificial intelligence. Before you had to really, humans doing it had to say, okay, these words line up with this audio part and this, and now AI just takes that and just meshes them together, and it can make a beautiful um, combination of the audio and the text, where when you open the app, then it'll read the text and highlight it as it's reading. And it's a wonderful tool for scripture engagement, for literacy, for distribution, so that people can have the Bible on their phone and share it with friends and family. And so all of these tools have used AI in different ways. There are more ways that you can use AI in work, but these are just some ideas. And I hope this is helpful. Feel free to reach out with any questions if you would like tutorials or demonstrations of any of these tools. You'd like to know how to install them or use them. Please don't hesitate to reach out. My name is Ruthie Wagner, and my email is ruthie.wagner at lbt.org. That's RUTHIE .WAGNER at lbt.org. Thanks for watching.